Greetings and welcome to the 1-6 Scale Man proudly presents. You know what it is, the corner. This is where we actually just shoot the shit, talk about everything that there is in the collecting community. But this is basically a one-off. This is basically a one-on-one with my guy, my bro, John from Inarts Queen Studio. Now, last night, basically, this is a continuation from what we actually talked about yesterday on Willfoxification show. Shout out to Willfoxification. Shout out to Optical 20. Shout out to my man, Dante, or Man of Hot Collectibles. So definitely, this is a continuation of that discussion, but more, just more detail, because again, it's just one of those situations where John wasn't on the show for the second portion of it. And there were some concerns, some questions, even some concerns from me. A lot of people had some concerns because John wasn't there to really answer when we had the discussion. So again, we want to give John, a chance to speak. You know what I mean? It's in fairness. And on top of that, for y'all to know, let me address this right off the top. This is not to attack a person or a person's character, even if there's certain things about the company that we don't necessarily always agree with. John's a good dude. Me and John talk behind the scenes. Y'all don't know that, but we talk behind the scenes pretty much all the time. We're cool peoples. And on top of that, he knows I want that Wonder Woman. But anyway, definitely we're going to have that conversation tonight. So people knows that, whatever is said, we can actually have a mutual discussion back and forth and just address some things, be cool about it. That's all it is. And this is why we have everybody here tonight to kind of, go ahead and talk about that. Now, before I bring the man you all know and love and that you've been waiting for, John, in the building, I'm just going to address a few things right off the top. Number one, that we are actually still continuing on with the Halloween initiative. Again, all proceeds, everything that we get from Super Chat goes towards this. This is to basically support and give kids, for kids that don't actually have costumes, underprivileged, that can't really celebrate Halloween. We want to be able to donate costumes for them. So definitely that's going straight ahead. And just keep in mind that we do still have the giveaway for the raffle for the Iron Scavenger. There are still some spaces available. So if you want to get that, definitely go to the Instagram page, pick a number that you actually see available, and then you can reserve yourself a spot. And then once they fill up, we will basically have that dice roll and find out who actually won that prize. So definitely you want to actually get in on that. Again, thank you guys for being here. Let me address the chat real quick. But before I address the chat, I want to bring my guy in. John, man, thank you for being here with us today, bro. How you doing, man?
No worries. All good. Very good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. So glad to actually have you here with us tonight, man. To just really have a chat, sit back, talk about a few things. But before we jump into that, again, let me address the chat real quick. We got Insane Ones in the building. We got Mike Fiella. We got Malika Mabane, William Owens, Collector Joey's in the building. Tully Man What is here. We have Six Scale Gallery in the building. Thank you for being here, my man. We have Insane One, Brendan Salad. We got Malika Mabane, Collector Joey. We got Marvelous Reviews in the building. Tully. We got MB Dyson, William Owens. We got Docinator in the building, the Booty King, I call him. We got Pedro Lopez. We got Roger Gaming in the building. We got Collector Joey, Trevor Weeds. Let's see who else. FBJ is in the building. Big Brother is actually here. Thank you for being here. Jack A is in the building. Let's see here. We got Renz Talentino, Babar Khan. Let's see who else we got. Blackbird is here. We got 12-inch smooth streams. Carlos is in the building. Yes, we got a couple people in here, man. John, how you doing this evening, bro? Well, it's your morning, right? Oops. Oop. I think we got a little, connection issue, man. A little bit. Oop. Can't hear you, man. Can't hear you. I think it's a connection issue that we're actually having at the moment. John might pop up in here in a minute. Don't worry, guys. We'll talk to John in a minute. His connection, he'll probably get that going. It's probably there you go. There you go.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm back. So back on 4G. So hopefully it's all good now.
Okay, man. Great. How's your? It's your morning over there, right?
Yeah. So good. It's around 10 a.m. So the day's just starting. So good start to the day.
Definitely, man. So glad to actually have you here with us, brother. So, John, let's get started, man. So here's the thing. This is what I want to talk about first. So last night we had a list of questions. Everybody was giving questions to basically ask you. Now, one of the main questions that I asked was, number one, would we, can we see and expect to see a little bit more diversity, in, collecting, especially with the pieces that, Inarts, can possibly give us? Do we expect to possibly see that? And one of the things is what I was saying was, will we eventually see it? Now, people have to understand, not see now, but will we eventually see it in the future? Because I know one of the biggest things that you talked about, and mainly because I caught a couple of things there that I was like, okay, that's really something to think about. Number one is that you are a new company. And of course, I truly understand that. Number one, you have to first cement your position by going to some of the more popular IPs to gain the attention. Then also it opens the door for opportunities to touch other product. But then you also said another thing that was important was that the simple fact that, and this was later on in the conversation, even before I get to the other point, but you said that still, even though you have licensings for Warner Brothers, you don't have the complete license for the, complete library. You're still trying to get there to get to that point, which was very interesting, which makes a lot of sense that we wouldn't have access to everything, which I do completely understand that. You also said that, again, it was based off of popularity, of how popular that character is. You don't want to take chances on, putting all eggs in one basket towards a figure that won't sell. Completely understand that. And I get that, because that for any company, and what we've seen with other companies, that hasn't been a successful route. There's figures that have been released that they projected and thought would sell, and they haven't. You know what I mean? Now, when that was basically said to me, I was like, well, and I had to think about it. Mind you, I had to really think clearly about it. At the point, I was just like, my point was, eventually when we get to that point, will we start seeing more? And I wanted to say that outside of sports, because yes, there are certain, characters that, again, aren't as popular, but then there are some that are, mainly, Selena Kyle. That's what a lot of people basically want. And it is a popular character, in which you did address that. That is something that you eventually, you're going to basically try to push to get made, because you feel as though that is, a character that's out there. So give us a bit more insight on, basically what you were, trying to convey, and let people know where it's at. So again, there's no misunderstanding at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no worries. I think in general, the format of the reason why I attend these like Q&As is just to communicate with you guys, trying to get a feel for the US market, particularly because most of the streams are in the US. We want to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what you guys really want. So that's the main reason. So sometimes when there's a Q&A section, if we give an answer, it's a little bit short and it can lead to interpretation. So I think what you just said right now is exactly where we're at. So we need to start with the most popular characters. So I think after the chat, you brought up like Morpheus. So I agree, Morpheus is a main character, but we wouldn't start with him. We'd start with Neo. Yeah. And we wouldn't even go to Trinity either. We'd just start with Neo, and then we'd work through there. Then eventually we'd get to those characters. Yeah. So in actual fact, when I also brought up Will Smith, is that he's the title character in a lot of films in like the late 90s, 2000s. So we've got Men in Black, I Am Legend, Independence Day, Enemy of the State. There's loads of amazing films with Will Smith as the main character. So that's what I meant by we could do something like that if we could get the popularity. So we'd focus more on the main characters first, and then go into some of the characters like Cyborg later when we know, there is a market. So that's sort of what I was trying to get at.
That and okay, so that is completely understandable. That makes a lot of sense, because again, one of the key things that when I rewatched it, I had to think about was, you did say that even though you have the license, because I had to think about also how big WB is and how they're spreading their licenses to Warner Brothers is spreading their licenses to so many different companies. Like, they have Sideshow, they basically, I mean, not Hot Toys, that is, I'm sorry. They have Jazz Inc. now when it comes to certain videos. So they actually have a portion of it. So everybody has a piece of the pie, to whereas I'm pretty sure you did say that they said that you have to focus in on certain characters and certain IPs for right now. And then eventually you said, the plan is to branch out and expand. So that I truly understand. So myself live, so everybody can actually understand that, even though, like I said, because representation for a lot of us is extremely important, to the simple fact that we want to see figures like us, or that look like us out there. Now, the thing is, a lot of us, including me, we get sensitive to the fact and not think about it from a business standpoint. From a business standpoint, even though there may be projections there and people want, that, they, they know, what we want, it has to be, first off, what is going to sell first to get us the clientele, then we can actually move forward into everything else. So now I have a clear understanding. It addresses that situation for me. And I'm like, okay, moving forward, eventually, once you, and again, it's like starting out small, getting bigger. You're starting off with some of the main figures like Joker, for right now, Pennywise, Gandalf,
Batman, yeah.
Batman, Wonder Woman, was, oh my God, bro. I'm telling you, when that Wonder Woman comes out, bro, I cannot wait. I'm already there. Also, that Ben Affleck Batman, I want that too. But anyway, yeah, it does make sense to that. And it's not to say that you won't get to that point. It's just to say that right now it makes more sense where it's at. So that I completely understand. And I apologize for getting real sensitive about it, because again, it's just about inclusivity where I'm looking at. So that addresses that for y'all. I hope everybody out there pretty much understands where that sits, and we've addressed that situation. Yes, eventually we will get there. John did say he's going to push for that Selena Kyle. So eventually we'll see it. Right now they have to focus on the main character, which is Batman. I get that. I completely understand that. So I thank you very much for definitely addressing that, bro, from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
The next, go ahead. What you gonna say?
Sorry, and also as you mentioned, like the business perspective, I think from our point of view, and I said the word, like, we don't want to tick any boxes just to make a character for the sake of it. So what I meant by that is that we want to genuinely make the characters that we think are the good characters, the ones that we love as well. So it's not just a case of here's a diverse character just so you buy it, spend the money. It's got to be genuine. We don't want to do it just because we want to appeal to be like this.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about that. It's got to be genuine. So there's a lot of characters that we feel like there's a lot of movies that we could do that are more genuine, not just a character for the sake of the character.
Yeah, got you. And that makes a lot of sense. Like, even when you say, dipping back into like even old school characters, like characters that, I would even like to basically see an Apollo Creed. You know what I mean? To be quite honest, like, I've definitely wanted to see a 6-scale version of that. Just seeing other figures, other characters out there that we can touch on. We then, like I said, the cyborgs we can actually work in there. We can actually even go back eventually, down the line to Eartha Kitt, Catwoman. Stuff like that. Once you get your footing and once you're getting grounded, because the thing is, I'm a fan of Inarts already, just from what I actually see. So I do want to see that progression, and it's good to always have, variety and options out there. So definitely, man, that Selena Kyle, I already know will sell. Definitely. So thank you for definitely addressing that. Do appreciate that, man. One of the next things that, again, that was discussed is that people had concerns about replacement parts. If there's an issue, like, say for instance, if you get the figure in hand, how, like, if there's like a faulty type of situation, how do we, really go to companies and say, okay, I'm having this particular problem. I need to actually have these pieces, replaced. Some people felt as though, well, was John saying that it's, you guys have to fend for yourself, or it's up to you? No, I'm listening to that and I'm like, okay, so for me, and I want to address this, because when I purchased the like, for instance, when I pre-ordered the Joker, I was one of the ones that actually pre-ordered it through Toys Wonderland. Now, here's the thing. I know that they are distributing those figures, but I also know that the biggest problem is, a lot of people know that Toys Wonderland has a track record when it comes to replacement parts, getting those figures back, especially if you're in the North American market and you need to send the figure back overseas. That could basically present a problem. Now, I know that you guys are working on eventually, not right now, but I know eventually in time we could actually have some resellers over here that will give us those options. But for right now, we have to rely on Hong Kong. So I guess one of the biggest things that people were, kind of, stuck on was what would happen if we do get, figures that might have defective pieces, or it might break, or whatever it might arrive. How do we combat that type of situation, especially when it comes to resellers that, you know, again, we might have actually had problems with or known to have certain issues, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so starting off with I saw a few comments around this, like also I think it's quite balanced when I left. There's some back and forth discussion. So generally, when I get invited to the show, I'm representing Inart and Queen Studios. But as we mentioned yesterday, and sometimes a lot of people pointed out the very non-answers or very diplomatic or political answers. And the reason why is because we can't recommend anyone. So that doesn't mean the consumer is on their own. They just have to, if they're going to buy this way, you've got to accept there's going to be some risk. My job personally is to make sure that we get some more global licenses, get some more official distribution partners. So we're going to have the June license, which is global. We've got 2 more global licenses where we'll have US-based distributors, and they'll take care of all of that. So if you get a damage, it will be taken care of.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. The process will be the same.
Yeah.
If you buy directly from us, you contact us, because what we'll do is we'll find out, okay, what's your name, what's your order number? We'll go check that and say, okay, this guy ordered this statue, this figure at this time. Let's see what we can do. We'll speak to the factory, see what replacements or what anything that can be done. But if you didn't buy from us directly, we can't check that. So you still have to go through the original seller, and then it's up to them. So you've got to really do your research on who you're buying from, which we don't want to put anyone in that position, and that's why we're working really hard on the licenses. But if you're going to go down that route, then you have to go through your seller, and then they'll eventually get to us, and we don't want to leave any case unsolved. So we'll work with it, and it might be a little bit longer, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
And if there really is issues, you can contact us.
So it's just mainly like a matter of knowing who you're getting this figure from. You know what I mean? Because again, it is a risk. And we know that with any company, there involves certain risks. You purchase this figure from this particular company. If you know that there's a track record, then you run that risk of falling into that type of category. If you choose not to get it primarily from, you know, Queen Studios and Inarts themselves. You know what I mean? So, and that's completely understandable. And I guess that's what a disconnect was. Like, people didn't really understand that, that concept of it. Me, myself, I couldn't really say too much to it because of the simple fact that I know where I got that figure from. So again, I know I run that risk. So I have to really have faith. But with the flip side of that is, John, I have faith that that Joker, once it comes, is going to be incredible. I have faith that that piece, especially from some of the production pieces and photos that we've actually saw, I have faith that it's going to be okay. So I just want to put that energy out there that it's going to be completely fine. I don't have a problem. Let me address these super chats really quick, John. I'm gonna let you continue real quick. We have Brendan coming in. Stand aside, Lael. John, the real questions are, when is my 1/2 scale cap PO shipping, and when is Queen or Inarts going to do a Daredevil? Come on, man.
So the 1/2 scale caps in America should be shipping now. So it's shipping in batches. So in the next few weeks, next few months, we'll be shipping those orders. Daredevil's US license, maybe we could do something with that, but it's Disney as well, but Disney Marvel. So we'll have a look into that, but maybe not next.
Definitely. We got a $1.99 super chat from 6 Scale Mafia. Nice shirt, John.
Okay.
He's like, nice shirt. So definitely. We got another super chat here. Let me actually get down here real quick. We got a $10 super chat by Yomo. John, I see you guys are doing other Lord of the Rings characters, so please push as much as possible for the other Matrix characters like Morpheus, Trinity, and of course Agent Smith from the OG series. And I think you did address that earlier when you were talking about right now you wanted to focus on, you know, the Neo figure, right?
Yep. Yeah. Eventually we'll have a Neo. I think we worked on a Neo from the Matrix 4, but that movie didn't quite pan out the way everyone thought it would do. So I think we put that project on pause for now. So
yeah.
But that's just sometimes happens, and especially with the line list. I saw someone mention, like, it's surprising that I don't know the full line list, but it does change based on different things, and we're hoping to get more US and more international licenses. So we're going to tweak and change things until we can open up those rights, and then that's when it's going to settle. So
Definitely.
yeah, sometimes it's just hard to answer.
Yeah, got you, bro. Got you. And also, one question that I didn't ask last night, John, was with the because you know how you basically put out the list a few months back of what you were, the list of figure that you were looking at actually getting into. You had Harry Potter on there, of course, Wonder Woman, Batman. We've seen the Mirror character, which you last night you were like, yeah, you were like kind of a little bit against that one, just within in the current climate, but I don't mind it. I mean, it is, what it is. Do you like? Are there going to be like updates to that list, eventually?
Yeah, 100%. So the problem is we put the list out because we want to get feedback as well, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily the exact order it will be, and also
Mm-hmm.
the approval timelines are different for each character, and
Yeah.
sometimes we might add a certain character and things change. Like the mirror thing, maybe we'll still do it, but I said at the moment maybe it's probably best not to. But you made a really good point yesterday that the personal life shouldn't matter,
Yeah.
and maybe everyone's mixed on that. But right now, is it the right time? Right now, maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll come back
Yeah.
when people have changed their mind. Maybe so. Yeah, the list could change, but it depends on licensing as well. We're really working hard here to expand it. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to
Yeah.
talk to as many people as possible, because that's what we're aiming for.
So with the Mirror, they are still going ahead so far with that figure that you know of.
They've taken it off the list for the next 2 quarters, but it doesn't mean
Okay.
we won't
Oh,
make it
okay.
again.
Okay.
So the list can change, and
Okay.
generally we work with the licensor to pick and choose characters that they think, oh, this will sell well, this might not do, and then certain things maybe say, okay, we'll put that on the back burner, because in the beginning it's all about getting that really good launch pad, so in the
Mm-hmm.
future we can really expand, do more things, take more risks. But you guys are watching us in real time develop, and it's not very often that happens. So that's what really this is about.
Yeah, got you, man. So again, you have to go with it goes back to the level of popularity that a character may have at that point. Right now, we know that, you know, the actress isn't as popular in the media because of everything that's currently happening right now. We know that also Ezra Miller isn't as popular in the media because everything is currently happening at the moment. So I don't know if Flash is going to basically be on the card, but who knows? Hopefully, y'all consider down the road making an '89 Batman. That would be incredible as well. So I know there were some questions. We got another super chat really quick here. We got Mr. Holbrook, $4.99 super chat. Thank you for that. Would y'all consider doing a Bat cycle? And also, if y'all are doing gaming, would you do Isaac from the game Dead Space? Which I'm not really too familiar with that game.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that game. So with games, I think The Last of Us comes up quite a lot, so that's one we'll start looking into. The Bat cycle, yeah, we're looking at like a Bat pod maybe for the Batman. We're looking at different vehicles like that to accompany the characters, but it's just again it's timing. These things take time, so we will add
Definitely.
these vehicles in as well.
Definitely. We got another super chat by Raleigh Reviews. I think everyone is in favor for Zoe Kravitz Catwoman mirror switch for phase one. Consider that to the team, John. We need Selena with Batman. So, and you did talk about yesterday, it was one of those situations where you were gonna, definitely push to actually, get that out there because you're even seeing that right now.
Yep.
We have like there is definitely a market for it. Like people out there want this figure again, so that's definitely going to be decent to see in the collection. So we said, somebody said you had the wrong game, switch on the Eagles. I know, man, I'll do that. But anyway, yeah, so thank you for definitely answering that question. I have one other question really quick here, John.
Yep.
Now we see like pretty much and you answered this question yesterday when it came to production runs and holding up to the release dates, like the release status and stuff like that. Is and we're hearing like questions out there or conversations out there about most production studios that are companies that are shutting down because there still is that epidemic that's actually running wild over there and stuff like that, the pandemic, and that they're really strict about that. Has that in any way so far affected you guys?
Yeah, it has. Because earlier this year, well, like we had, it's really different over here. So I think it's really hard to like explain. Like if you don't live here, it's just a completely different culture, society. So
Yeah.
it is very quite strict on a lot of things. For example, earlier this year, we were in the office and we are told everyone needs to leave like in 10
Mm,
minutes or in the next half an hour because we all had to go and do tests and then we were
yeah.
on lockdown for 2 weeks and it was
Yeah.
out the blue.
Out
And
of the
then there's
blue.
just certain cities will just close down and it's you can't really plan for it.
Hmm.
So there has been some lockdowns in certain parts where things are made or the supply chain has been disrupted. As far as I know, our figures are on track, but where we faced some delays is just with a few of our statues. Maybe we've had to move around the list there, but with the figures right now, we're okay, I think.
Okay, definitely, man. Thank you for that. We got a $5 super chat by Brother Cousins. I agree with he said I agree LOL with Riley. Everybody's talking about that Catwoman. We had a few people there talk about the Catwoman. Now we talked about somebody mentioned about vehicles. Now we know that you guys are actually going ahead also with um what is it? The Batmobile.
Batmobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that still something that like right now you're working diligently on?
Yes. So certain things, the communication's not always constant. So certain things I'll get updated at different times. So they'll say, "Oh yeah, we're still working on this," or "This is paused," that kind of thing. So usually, if they're not talking about it, they're just quietly working away at it. So yeah, in general, it'll be something that we're working towards, but I don't have a timeline right now. So a lot of
Mhm.
things, it just these things is teams of people doing the 3D design, the 3D sculpting, and then the closer it gets, that's when they start to bring it up into conversation again. But right now, not a lot has been said. I think they're just doing a lot of testing because it's one of our first vehicles, the different materials, different things like that. Usually that's what they go through.
Got you.
Just really quickly on that is we announced ourselves this year, but actually as a company they were founded last year in June, I believe. So
Yeah.
they spent eight or 9 months just working out on different details, testing different materials, that kind of thing. So they'll probably be doing the same thing with the vehicles as well.
Got you. Got you. So definitely that's to be expanded. I see a few people out here mentioning the Ecto One. Wanted to know if you guys would actually tackle that as well. So that'd be interesting. Um, don't know if that something that you guys had on your slate. Is just something down the line that you're going to think about.
The Ecto One, I'm not sure what
Yeah. Okay.
what that.
From
Yeah, I'm not
from
sure on that.
from Ghostbusters.
That's not really come up. But again, so that one of the things we did earlier is we had that survey, right? And we
Mhm.
got as many people to put into that survey their suggestions, and certain things didn't come up, certain things did. A lot of the things that came up had already been made by the companies and already suggested. So I think after this first few phases, we're gonna go back and look at that again. I think how do we get more quality feedback, and we can start building the character base that people want again. We just got to figure the best way to do that, and I'm not
Gotcha.
sure what that is right now, but we're going to figure that out. So if it's anything from Ghostbusters, even the Catwoman, that kind of thing, we can go back to that and then find a way to really show the team here this is worth investing your time, because it takes months and months and months to make these figures. So we want to make
Yeah.
sure all the hard work is put to good use.
Got you, man. Got you. Thank you very much for that. And another question here is I'm trying to limit these questions. I know you're pressed for time, so definitely don't want to get past your time. But one other question is, now I know you guys are going to Vegas, and
Yep.
this is basically the first of especially promoting Inarts, Inart figures as well. Can you see after this, eventually after this particular option or this event? Can you see like maybe the year after that attending like a New York Comic Con or a Comic Con again or stuff like that? Do you think that's down the road for you guys as well?
100%. So the reason why we're going to Las Vegas, and I saw that as a question, like why are we going, is it's twofold. One, speak to more US distributors, more licenses. So we
Yep.
want to work on that aspect of things. But also, there's a lot of interest in these figures. And the thing is, if we just post on Chinese social media, and then someone will share it overseas, and we can't control what people say. So that's why we post on overseas social media ourselves. And then we
Yeah.
go there, we want to show these figures ourselves and talk to people. So then when we do start getting those licenses, we get the feedback in real time from real collectors.
Yeah.
This year, New York Comic Con, a lot of the big companies aren't going, so that's why we're not going.
Gotcha.
Next year, hopefully we can go to NYCC. We want to have these events every year and
Gotcha.
grow them bigger and bigger. So we just get more and more of the fans and the collectors and the people in the industry to go see the new figures, what we're releasing, and just chat with people and make a real community around our collectibles. And that's what we're going to go for each year.
So just know that if you go to Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con next year, I'm bringing my Joker box and you have to sign it. You and everybody else there got to sign my Joker box. So I'm just letting you know you have to sign my Joker box. So cool. Yeah, definitely, man. I'm excited about that. John, I know you got to go, man. I don't want to hold you up, man. But thank you for actually being on, bro. Addressing this, we can have a one-on-one conversation for everybody out there so we can address a few things. Probably didn't get to everything, but again, this man's busy, got a lot of things going. You'll see him around, and there'll be more discussions after that Joker is released, because again, October is right around the corner where we'll start seeing, like, you know, product and stuff like that. And, you know, movement could be coming sooner than what you think. So I'm definitely happy about that, John, man. Thank you for being here with us, man. Thank you for taking time to sit down. You know, I'm going to be in your ear. You know what, man? Real quick before you go. So I got my Wonder Woman statue through Spec Fiction. Still waiting on that thing, man. Like, they still haven't got it yet. They said, like, now, I guess October, November or something like that now. It's like everywhere, but they don't have it yet. So I'm like, I'm still waiting on it, bro. I'm still waiting on it. I'm anticipating.
Yeah, I hope you get it soon. It's that piece, the feedback's been really good so far for that piece. So really hope you get that.
I've been living vicariously through everybody else because it looks good. Yeah. Like I'm always, you know, updating, watching, and everybody's stuff, man. So definitely, man, I cannot wait. But yeah, John, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, shout out to John for coming on and answering, bro. I cannot wait for that Joker. I cannot wait to basically see what y'all have next on y'all slate. You know that Wonder Woman, bro. As soon as that thing drops, it goes up for pre-order day one. I'm paying it off. That's it, because I want it. I can't afford to wait. And as a matter of fact, that one is the one I'm going to be ordering through you guys personally. Plain and simple. I'm going to put that money down. So yes, I cannot wait, man. But thank you so much, John, for basically being here and sitting down talking with us, man. We do appreciate you. Okay.
No worries. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I really appreciate it, because I think the format of these conversations, maybe we can change to give more value. All we want to do is just give value to the collectors. So as long as we can iron out those problems, then that's all we're here for. If it's not valuable, maybe we don't need to do it. But today I feel like we corrected a few misconceptions. Hopefully.
Yes, we did. Yes, I think we did. Honestly, I think we did. And it gives people more of a perspective. I know it gives me more of a perspective. And, you know, moving forward, you know, I know what to expect from the company, and I have hopes that going forward, you know, things are going to be great. I wish you guys nothing but love, because on top of that, like I said, it's a new company coming into the game. And on top of that, it gives us choices now that we're not just depending on, you know, one major distributor or one major company. We have variety, especially with figures that we may not get, because again, like, I never thought I would see that Joker again. And then when you guys released it, it was just like, you know, heaven just opened up and said, this is for you. So thank you very much for that, man. Appreciate it. Great discussion tonight. Everybody out there, give a shout out to John. Thank you for coming through, man. And we cannot wait. And from us to you guys in the company, man, we wish you most success. And we'll be talking again. You already know that I'm gonna be in your ear almost every other week.
Okay. No worries.
All right, man. Love you, man. Talk to you later, bro.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
All right, man. See you later, man. See you later. Everybody out there, yo, check it out. Glad you guys were actually on board with us tonight. Had a chance to talk to John. Again, thank you guys. Oh, we got a super chat coming in. Is there an ETA on a reveal of Elizabeth Olsen Scarlet Witch statue? Oh man, Pedro, if you would have came in early, I could have got that to him really quick, man. But definitely, Pedro, I will make sure that, as a matter of fact, Pedro, if you hit me up, I'll ask John. I'll send him a message and let him know, and then I'll get to you right away, bro. So keep that in mind. Inbox me, message me, and I'll definitely let you know. Okay, my guy. But again, everybody out there, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Impromptu discussion with John. You know, this is the corner, how we like to keep it. If any of you guys have any other questions going forward, man, definitely let us know. And this is how we do it. We have a simple discussion, and on top of that, we bring you guys in there because I know you guys had a concern, and you guys were right. We should have had this discussion with John was on. So I definitely agree with that. So thank God we were able to do that tonight and put all this stuff to rest. And hopefully this answers a lot of questions, man. So again, it's the corner. It's Lael Rockwell again. All contributions, everything that you've actually put in right now is going to go towards that Halloween initiative. And love you guys, man. I love this community. I love what it's all about. Great show. And as always, from me to you guys, keep on collecting, stay positive. And I love y'all, man. As always, I always like to finish with that. I love you guys very much. And I thank you for everything that you bring to this community. Peace and love. And I can't wait to talk to you guys again. We out. Let's go.